presenter, and Dr. Sunil is our next presenter. He is director of Davangere Nethralaya and professor at BMC. And Dr. Sunil is having his chairman. He was chairman scientific committee of Karnataka Ophthalmology Society and now joint secretary. Sunil.
Now I'll be presenting a case of a trauma. This is an edited video. Patient had a corneal tear with a traumatic cataract with an intraocular foreign body. This is a post. We had done the corneal tear repair and lensectomy. After that, 3-port pars plana vitrectomy with the chandelier assisted. You can see a vitreous hemorrhage being cleared. There is a macular intraocular foreign body with a posterior pole tear with the surrounding perifoveal tissue edema. Careful PVD induction is done to make sure that there is no enlargement of the tear all around the tear. The concern here is whether it is any adhesions or impaction of the foreign body and the degree of damage to the choroid underneath the choroid. Once you have done that, peripheral vitreous base shaving was done. Now we need to tackle the posterior pole. The bubble of PFCL was put to prevent the safeguard on the macula, and the foreign body was gradually removed, and there was an adhesion which was slightly smaller adhesion which was released. There was a minimal ooze which was controlled with PFCL bubble and rising the bottle height. And foreign body was tried to remove by a handshake technique using 2 forceps. And it was planned to remove it through the pupillary, brought to the pupillary margin, tried to keep it on the iris surface, it fall off. But luckily there was a PFCL bubble, it didn't cause any damage to the macula. Viscoelastic was put to protect the endothelium. Once again, the foreign body was brought again to the pupillary area, and by handshake technique, it was removed through the limbal corneal, clear corneal wound. Limbal wound was sutured. Now the concern is to take care of the posterior pole tear. After doing a peripheral vitreous base excision and other things, we planned for an ILM peeling. So PFCL was removed to stain the ILM again with the brilliant blue dye. Once I have done that, aspirated the excess of brilliant blue, put the PFCL to plan PFCL ILM removal under PFCL. We went from around the edematous retina towards the center, not to cause any further iatrogenic damage to the fovea and perifoveal region and the macular area. And this we peeled up to the arcades, and from then it is the reverse flap was used to plug into the or stuck into the tear area, the crescentic tear which was present in the perifoveal area. But one need to be very careful when you are operating on an edematous retina. Sometimes can cause further iatrogenic tears or cause tissue laceration and other things. So gently it is the ILM easily came off, and we plugged the ILM into the hole. Then the PFCL was exchanged with silicone oil as a tamponade. That's it. It's an edited video. Oil was used as a tamponade for this case.
Thank you, Sunil. I think we are moving to that area when probably ILM can close all the holes and tears in the retina. So probably in future we will think of doing a peripheral ILM peeling and put the peripheral hole closed. So in our future retinas we will show like this kind of if possible. Dr. Arora.
Maybe you will have an ILM bank coming up somewhere. Order the ILM.
That will be the Aurora Island.
ILM bank. You are planning for that.
No, but excellent surgery, Dr.
Very good surgery.
Very difficult case. Very well managed.
Yeah.
Very elegantly done.
Very elegant, yes. And your hands move very.
Hats off. Hats off to Sunil. Hats off. It's really good.
Sunil, what was the? Do you have a post-op picture? It would be interesting to see the.
Yeah, because a 2 minutes video, I didn't show it. Probably I'll share it with you.
Yeah. No, I was just wondering if Srinivas was here for such a large date, Srinivas may have used a graft for such case. I don't know, primary graft.
Yeah, probably that would have been. But again, this is the way forward. I think we can have a future discussion whether the graft or the peeling. These are the technique. So the question comes when the fovea involves and the non-foveal involvement. So when the fovea is not involved, probably the putting graft is much more safer. Or even you can add the graft also. You can put the laser marks. So so that to avoid this kind of large retinal tear to create further complication. So we have only 3 minutes left.
Dr.
Yeah,
Sameer,
please.
what was the visual recovery like with the scarring?
He had a 1/60 vision, sir.
I think Rupak, you have to present. We're waiting for Rupak's video.
No, this is we'll do it, sir. It is just a 1 minute video. Yeah. So thank you all. I'll just present it now.